Hi folks, welcome to another Stall13.com video. Well, we don't have any horses in the background, but what we do have is a farm pond, or a lake, or a pasture pond, whatever you call them, and you're part of the neck of the woods. We're going to talk a little bit about the quality of water that your horses may drink. A lot of you have rivers, streams, creeks, or man-made ponds that catch rainwater, melting snow, and that provides the only water that your horses drink. Now, the interesting thing about horses is horses aren't as prone to go swimming in a pond as cattle are. Cattle will wade into a pond up to their neck and sit there all day long. Horses aren't necessarily as prone to do that. But if you notice, what we do here at the ranch is we keep our ponds real manicured. There's not a lot of weeds, there's not a lot of trees. We keep it real vacant of those things, of vegetation around this pond. Now I'll tell you exactly what that does. What that does is it prevents snakes. It prevents a lot of turtles. It may not look as pretty as having a lot of big tall reeds and trees and bushes, but what it does is it protects your horses, and it also helps with the quality of the water, and also it allows you to really see where your horses are drinking. You can see hoof prints, wild animal prints, coyote prints. It gives you an idea of who's drinking your water on your land. Now, there's a really fine line that's hard for every person to decide what you're going to do, and it's really up to you. It's like asking somebody how much is too much salt and pepper in grandma's chicken soup. It's really a personal preference and nobody else's. And that is this: are you going to allow your horses to drink out of a pond all the time, or only in an emergency situation? Because this is true, and I've proved it many times over many, many years. If a horse has a choice between drinking out of a pond, a creek, a stream, or a river, or a nice, big, clean water tank, they'll always pick the water tank, as long as the water is clean. Now, what's really interesting about horses is the more water that they have, the cleaner it is, the better that it tastes, the more water they're prone to drink. And I'm going to take that a step farther since we're talking about water. If you have a 2-gallon bucket in a box stall or a 5-gallon bucket in a box stall, the horse will drink more water more frequently if they have the larger 5-gallon bucket. If you have a 20-gallon tub versus a 5-gallon bucket hanging on the wall, they'll drink more water. I don't know why, but horses just seem to have some type of I better save water mentality. So water quality is important all year round. If you're in a part of the country where the ground freezes several feet deep, and maybe in another 5 or 6 weeks, you'd literally be able to drive across this pond with your pickup truck because you live in a northern state where they ice fish, then you have to break open an area sufficiently and far enough out into the water for the horse to drink. If I was to back up down here, folks, and get closer to this water, and I'm at the water's edge here, and I'm starting to sink in the mud a little bit. Might see me fall in. We're not going to edit it if I do. Well, most people will just break the ice right at this level here where the water is only at the shore of the pond, where the water is only about 3 inches deep. They'll just break that ice real quick. Why? You're in a hurry to get to work. Why? It's cold outside. Why? Because you really don't want to do it. It's a pain in the butt job to break ice around a pond. But the point is that you need to keep an area of open water for your horses to drink water out of a frozen pond that is at least the size of a queen-size bed. All right? We're talking about an area that's at least 5 feet to 6 feet wide and at least 5 to 6 feet long, which means that you have to have sufficient amount of area that where you're breaking ice so that you're at least 5 to 6 feet away from the shoreline, so that the water is clean, They're not sucking up the dirt and algae and sand with water that's only this deep. The deeper the water that your horses can drink, the better off they're going to be. You really want your horses to stand about 3 or 4 inches into ice cold water so that they're drinking water that's at least this deep, not this deep. This is all just crummy water. Things to think about. This has been another Stall13.com video. Take care of yourselves and take care of your horses.